Welcome back. We now will have our first pre-submitted little video around smart image tagging through the tagging factory. I have here Kevin de Beck from Delaware, but let's first watch the movie.
Hello, my name is Kevin de Beck of Delaware, and in the next 2 minutes I want to introduce the tagging factory. So the idea of the tagging factory originates from some R&D research which we did at Balta. And Balta told us that they were spending quite a lot of manual time labeling their product images. And it turns out that not only Balta was having issues with this process, but many of our clients were running into similar troubles. So we decided to provide them with a solution which we call the tagging factory. And the tagging factory is an AI-driven automated image tagging or image labeling process. So the main benefits of using the tagging factory are, first of all, it's fully automated. So you save time because otherwise you would manually do the labeling. Second is because it's automated and AI-based, you improve the label quality, but also remove any inconsistencies because of human bias. And third is that you can easily expand the number of tags that are available and also include specific custom tags to the model as well. So focusing a little bit on the background, how is it or what is it made of? Well, the tagging factory is a combination of computer vision models where you have some pre-trained, ready-to-use out-of-the-box models, but they are also been expanded with some custom-developed code and the custom-developed AI models developed by Delaware, which allow you to include some custom tags as well. So as a default, we have over 100,000 tags available. And like I mentioned before, there is the opportunity to include very niche, very case-specific tags or labels in the model as well. How can you use it? Well, it is fully cloud-based, so it is API accessible, where you send your image to the API, and then the API returns the number of tags that are related to that specific image. It is based on some state-of-the-art technology of Microsoft, Google, etc., expanded with the custom-developed models by Delaware. And we can use it as a one-off quick scan where you would review a number of images, but it is also available as a service where you daily, weekly, monthly re-evaluate your image labeling. If you look at the future, well, as like I mentioned at the beginning, it started in Balta or in the textile industry, but we are noticing quite a lot of other industries or new markets that have interest or specific use cases for the tagging factory as well. Thinking about product information management systems, digital assets systems, where labeling play an important role, but also in e-commerce and web shops, adding an increased amount of image labels can improve the search result as well. And last but not least, we continues to improve our models, including the amounts of labels that are available as well.
So, Kevin, thanks for submitting this recording in advance, and thanks for being here.
Good morning. So my name is Kevin de Beck. I'm working as a data scientist at Delaware, and I'm specialized in applying data and artificial intelligence in sales and marketing applications. So everything going from churn prediction, customer segmentations, product recommendations, all that sort of stuff. Okay. And the tagging factory is a little bit different in that area. It's still related to customers, but it's mainly focusing on products. So we developed a solution that combines a number of computer vision models that allows you to label or to automate your labeling process of your images. And this is often used in products because you produce a product and then you want to sell it or add it in an online B2B portal, for instance. And in order to make your product searchable, you need to label the products, so describe how the products look. And then the better you label it, the easier it is to find your product. For instance, if you were looking for a black t-shirt, then you would, as a customer, search for black t-shirt, and then you expect to see all of the black t-shirts popping up, so you would need a label to that image describing it's a black t-shirt on the image. So that's what the tagging factory does.
Okay, so in that sense, you're not building solution to label t-shirts, you're building an entire pipeline to allow your customer to handle every aspect of the image labeling problem.
Indeed, it's the core of the tagging factory is a number of generic applications, so generic models that offer, I think at the moment it's over 100,000 different labels that the tagging factory can out of the box identify. So whether it's t-shirts or flowers or carpets, it doesn't really matter. You give your images to the tagging factory and then you receive a number of labels that you see based on or what the tagging factory sees based on the image, but also you have the option to add your own labels as well. So it's a combination of out of the box, but also some generic or some custom components. So if you have specific needs in terms of customers that require very specific labels that aren't really available in the generic part, then we can add our own custom models as well. So to really specify that need, for that we need to train the model a little bit. So we need some historical data, some images that already are having that label manually added to it. But based on that, we can add custom labels as well.
Okay, so it's kind of a bootstrapping where you start with a small sample.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, all right. No, that's a fascinating development. It probably scales much better with the demand from client side to develop this kind of product than one where you have to put a data scientist to tag all the images or to formulate the models on a case-by-case basis.
Yeah, typically there are already a lot of historical images labeled which we can use, so we can one-on-one add it to the model.
How long has the tagging factory been around?
I believe it's the first ID came, I think it was 2 years ago. Or maybe even a little bit longer, where we had a customer that was talking about image labeling and where the whole process was being done manually. And that customer had a product or a production cycle where every quarter over 5,000 new products were released, so different variations. And then you had a volunteer within the company that had to label every quarter these images. So as you can imagine, it's very boring. So that was the conversation starter, and then we noticed that there were some other applications for other customers as well.
I must imagine that after a couple of seasons they run out of volunteers for something like
exactly.
that. Would you say that the tagging factory was a new kind of product to be built for Delaware?
Well, we do have some previous experience in working with labeling and computer vision, but really focusing on a more productized service. That was new for us.
And has this influenced the kind of profiles that you were looking for within Delaware?
Well, the one of the main benefits for such solution within Delaware is we're a quite large IT consulting company, so we have a lot of different experiences within or different profiles within the company. So we combined a number of different teams together in order to develop it. So it wasn't really attracting new profiles, but it resulted in some new collaborations within the company itself.
Are you now a little sub-company within the company almost, or
wouldn't call it a sub-company, but there's definitely a number or a group of people that are related to the tagging factory, and it's spreading slowly but at a steady rate.
Okay, are there any other interesting developments in the same field or within Delaware that you'd like to talk about?
Well, in terms of the image labeling and the computer vision part, we do see, well, like I mentioned, it started with the product, like really in a manufacturing context, but we see different needs coming from different areas as well. Like for instance, customers where we've built a web shop and we want to optimize the search on their web shop so that the product search matches better to the product offering. That's also a solution where a similar case with image labeling can play an important role. And also in the area of digital asset management and product information management, where you have a large library of over sometimes 1 million digital assets. That's also something where computer vision and more or less the tagging factory can help out as well by labeling all these assets fully automated, so no human labor there. and then making it searchable or improving the search functions in those tools as well.
Okay, and you mentioned in the beginning the importance of having a label. If I want to find a black T-shirt, I need to, of course, be able to look for a black T-shirt. Are you closing the loop with seeing, okay, which labels now work, which labels are important and which not, and does that lead to feedback in the system?
Yeah, that's the interesting part, because the tagging factory itself doesn't really solve the problem, or isn't really a predictive model. It's more a solution that generates new data, because you generate these labels, and these labels are new information that you add. So you can do all sorts of creative and interesting stuff with this new information. And one of the things is indeed afterwards analyzing, okay, which labels or which search terms are used quite often, and how was the matching done. So to first of all analyze, okay, what's popular, but also to evaluate, for instance, on a web shop, which searches didn't show up a relevant product, so that you get information about possible gaps within your product offering as well.
And is this then something that is done by the client themselves, to the people using the tagging factory, to keep track of this, or do you work with service contracts afterwards to offer these supplemental services? How does that work?
That depends case on case. We guide them, and we provide some inspiration on how you can use this new information within the company, and then it depends case by case whether or not they start with it their own, or we guide them throughout the process and assist them in the analysis as well. So we can offer this as a service. It really depends on the context.
Okay, and I guess a final question in light of time. Now that the tagging factory is active at certain of your clients, do you see that this lowers the barrier to additional AI services applications?
Yeah, that's definitely something, regardless of the tagging factory, that we notice that there's a really big gap to take that first step, do that first analysis in terms of data or AI. But once you get the ball rolling, then you start a discussion, and you start seeing different opportunities, or the customer says, oh, we have that problem as well, couldn't AI or data solve that as well? So that's definitely a positive side effect of the tagging factory, but also other solutions that we have, that once you start with that, maybe low entry, then you get you get to talk to the people on the field, and you spot some new opportunities for future AI as well.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much.